Hello and welcome all to the Time Traveler's Tavern, where there's tales from it and other things. Yeah, I said things. Alright, I will be your navigator and captain, Deadpaw, taking you on this informative journey. Informative of what? We still don't know. But that's why we have our wonderful net guru and all-around frumpy, colorful commentary provided by my good friend Toast.
I'm closer to white bread than rye.
Fair enough. And over to the other side, we have Mr.E. Not as an ecstasy. It's more of a pun on mystery, not Mr. and E. Alright, Mr.E. in the studio with us today.
Indeed.
Alright, today we're going to go down a traveling line of science and fiction, or science fiction, or fictional science, and all that kind of good stuff.
A story, a chorus about too clever by half people who scream. That could never happen to me.
So, quick side note to that. I had somebody try to scam me a couple years back.
Right.
And, I actually got money from them.
How'd you manage that one?
Because I'm clever!
What'd you do?
I talked through all this kind of stuff, and it wasn't much, but it's that moment of, okay, well, I have the funds in an account, but I'd have to pay an amount to get to the funds, and I don't have that on me, so I can't really help you out with that.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be out of my budget for at least 2 months.
That's kind of the route I went with this, because they wanted $485, and I said, well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to come up with that until tax time.
Yeah.
Mid-March next year.
So apparently they were in a crunch and wanted the money, so they're like, okay, well, we can send you an initial payment for you to whatever and fund back with and send with and this and this and this. I'm like, okay, well, can I also get bus fare? So they sent another like $10 for bus fare.
You have buses where you lived?
No, I didn't.
No.
You're gonna buy a bus for $10? There's some of these Harry Potter ones with double, triple deckers or whatever?
The double triple decker.
No, he was just talking out of his behind
Yeah.
in order to get them to send more money, and it worked.
Yeah.
Amazingly.
I mean, I got it was only like $65. That's $65 I didn't have before.
Yeah, hey?
That's why I lowballed it, and I'm like, keep it low.
For that second group, I will often quiz them on their extensive portfolio of overpriced, quote-unquote, extended warranties, timeshares, and underperforming mutual funds. And gently remind him that the folks who think they are too smart to get cheated are often the easiest marks.
Really?
One of the
That's
first
fine.
things a trained con man or woman will do to victims is lavish them with praise. I quote-unquote, I can't believe this great deal I'm giving you, says the auto dealer as he walks away with your money.
And that's how the lemon laws came into effect.
Indeed. So if you think that you can't be scammed, you're probably the next in line.
Like I say, speaking of the lemon law, I had a friend who fell into that 3 times.
The lemon law?
Lemon law. Got a car, drove it off the lot, literally 50 feet down the road, the front axle snapped.
Wow.
Yeah. The second time, different lot, they made it 2 weeks, because I think it's 30 days, within 30 days. Made it 2 weeks, the gas tank came dislodged, bounced under, and then thumped up into the trunk.
Okay.
Spraying gas everywhere and starting the car on fire. In a spectacular blaze.
Now, before we go to the third one, we'd like to thank our sponsor, JD Byrider.
That was sarcasm.
We don't actually have that as a sponsor. Shut the hell up.
But if we ever do, we'll spam it!
They have wonderful cars, I'm sure.
But no, so third one was, again, about the 2-week mark.
Yeah.
Driving on the highway. And I was with him this time. We're driving down the highway and went around a semi, and we were just getting past it, right in that wonderful blind spot that they have.
Yeah.
And it shot a rod through the roof.
Ooh, you mean through the
Through the hood, yeah.
Chassis.
Popped it right up and just belched fire out of it,
Yeah.
and it blinded us.
Yeah.
And my friend, not being the great driver that he is,
Oh, no.
tried to overcorrect and pulled right into the semi. So we bounced off the semi back into the median. Fortunately, it wasn't that bad. Like,
You were
nobody
able
was
to-
really injured that bad. It could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
It wasn't heavy traffic, so there weren't any other accidents caused from it, and we were very lucky.
Right.
We were very lucky while we were being very unlucky.
Any landing you can walk away from, right?
Pretty much.
Just a little touch-up paint, huh?
Oh no, that thing was trashed.
No, you're talking about...
Because it spun.
Yeah, you're talking about a dead engine.
It spun and bounced into the divider and popped up, and we're slightly over it at the end of our motion. Because it's really fun. Because when you're on top of those dividers, you just slide, and it makes this god awful noise. It makes a very, very heavy heat under your feet. And we're sitting there doing that moment of, what should we do? Now, this isn't something that's covered by a lot of driver's ed instructors.
Yeah.
Typically, in an accident...
I got 2 stories for that.
I was going to say, typically in an accident, you stay in the vehicle if there's no imminent threat from the vehicle, like fire.
Right.
If there's fire, you exit as safely and quickly as possible towards any side that is not
On fire?
on fire or directly by impeding traffic. So we ended up crawling out through his driver's door because the way that the car was sitting could have been hit and it was on fire.
Yeah.
So we crawled through there and stood in the median waiting and waiting and waiting. It took 2 hours before any sort of police or law enforcement showed up because that's how dead it was that night.
Oh, boy.
The semi-driver pulled off, obviously,
Yeah.
and ended up coming over and make sure we were okay.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, you guys popped something up and it knocked out my CB radio as well. We have no way of calling in because at this time, none of us had cell phones. So we literally sat there waiting, trying to flag down the 3 cars that passed to call the police. They just kept driving.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Screw that guy.
it was actually just a state trooper out on patrol that saw the burning car and went, huh,
I should go check that out.
let's take a look-see here.
Yeah, the cops wasted no time showing up when I freaking had one of my cars blow up. The old Hyundai. I don't know if you were around yet, but for that
Yeah,
one.
little
Were you?
blue pile of crap.
Yeah. Well, that blew up on me. Cops were on me 10 minutes after it happened. It was ridiculous. But,
It's ridiculous driving past you on my way to work going, God, that looks like Kevin's car.
probably is.
In front of Menards, remember?
You
told me that was you.
Yeah.
That's the other funny one to that too. Is another one where coming down a hill and there's a stoplight in front of me. This is in winter and it is freshly blizzardy. So I'm coming down this hill and there's a stoplight there and it's red and I'm just sitting there going, I can't stop. So I just lay on the horn, put on my hazards, and I'm just sliding. Cop car coming from one of the other ways, the way that it had the green light, stops midway through, put on his flashers. And I just slide past him. I wasn't going fast.
Right.
Because crappy conditions and
Right.
I was trying to stop.
Right.
So I just slide past him and I have this look. As I'm going past him, I just kind of turn my head, hold up my hand, awkwardly smile and wave. And I'm on to, hi! As I just slide straight through the stoplight.
Right.
And he comes around. I pulled over. I'm like, I'm getting the biggest ticket. I just ran a friggin' light. Oh! I come around, or he comes out, walks over to my window, and, it's like, everything all right? That hill is really icy. It's like, that's what I figured it was when I saw your flashers and your lights and, and the horn and all that going on. I'm like, yeah. It's like, all right, well, I'll call a salter out and we'll change these lights to all stops.
Right.
And I was like, and he just looked at me. I was like, drive safe, have a nice day.
Yeah.
Walks back to his car. I'm like, I didn't get a ticket.
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, I was living out at my brother's place, and the end of the road he's on crosses a minor highway. But again, it's out of town, so it's a little snowy, a little icy. I'm coming up to it, and I'm slowing down, and I'm still going forward. I have now fully applied the brake, and I'm still going forward.
Yeah.
I'm looking, I'm like, and I see traffic. I see a car coming. I'm like, well, this isn't good. So because it's manual, I throw it in reverse. Because I figure that should stop me. It didn't. So now I'm sitting there, and I'm spinning my tires backwards.
Yeah.
Trying to stop, and I'm still going forwards. And I'm just like, there's nothing I can do. It's like, I'm just gonna kind of brace for this and hope the other guy misses me. I shoot right through the stop sign, and it's a cop who's coming across, and he's slowed down.
Yeah, he waited.
And basically, because I saw that he was slowing down, I kind of look at him, and I just shrug. Because my tires are still spinning backwards. And he just looks at me, and with that look in with that look in his face, not that I can focus that far, of, that's weird.
That's like the time where I was headed to work. And again, hill.
Yeah.
4-lane highway. Stop sign. I'm on the road that stops.
Right.
So I'm coming down this hill. Again, that wonderful snowy, icy mix of you're not stopping. And I'm coming down the hill, and I'm trying, and I know I'm not going to stop by the speed that I'm still going by the time I'm probably about 20, 30 yards away from the stop sign. I know I'm not going to stop. I'm going too fast at this point. So I kind of just clenched it, put it in gear, and floored it, and hoped I wasn't going to get hit. This is probably not the best advice to give, but it's the route I chose.
I imagine
So I floor it across the busy highway as I come through. 3 semis and a pickup truck. And I just narrowly skirt through all of them, straight across the highway.
And
So
then
you played Frogger with him.
Yes, I did.
and then you immediately were glad you were wearing brown pants that day.
All of them on their horns. And I'm just sitting there with, again, I toss up my hazards when I'm doing something I can't control and I'm stupid.
And aren't all of his pants brown pants?
We can't make that joke here.
So
I
yeah,
have to edit that out. Thanks.
yeah. So I fly through, and I actually get to the other side of the road, and I'm finally able to stop. And it's at this point I realize I have a death grip with my left hand on the steering wheel, and a death grip with my right hand on the shifter. It's that moment of, well, that could have sucked. When do I start hyperventilating?
All right. I have for sure 2 driving stories that are similar to that. First off, the one is in the Hyundai.
Yeah.
I was working in Fond du Lac at the time, and my girlfriend, when she lived with me in Fond du Lac, adored Rocky Rococo's pizza.
Rakiaracoco.
There isn't
explains
one.
a few things.
There isn't one here in town.
Yeah, I went there. Go ahead. I stopped. Don't have to throw things.
You stopped eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Just like the rest of the stories.
Yeah, exactly. Fresh blizzard-like snowstorm coming in after I've already collected said
Aw.
pizza to take it back here to town, which is about a 40-minute drive. And someone decides,
That was a lovely noise.
are we quite finished? You're out of dice, I hope.
I'm on a dice down here.
Okay.
Don't make him get his bag of like 400.
Please don't.
I can just throw handfuls.
It's sleeting!
And you know, if it was a stealth roll, all ones.
Anyway,
I want to see you get that D100 out. That'd be worth it.
it's effectively a golf ball.
That's really hard
Effectively,
to
I
actually...
think it is a golf ball.
No, because it's too large.
No, those are really hard to actually ascertain what's up.
Yes, it is. But I do want to play golf with one day. Anyway.
Plus, you
Probably
can use
shatter
2
something.
percentiles.
You never know. So, someone ahead of me on the frontage road that I'm on, trying to get onto the highway, I determined that the highway exit that's closest to the pizzeria was not safe to try and take.
Yeah.
So I took the frontage road thinking salt trucks have got to be out by now. I'll take that and be okay. Not so much the case. So someone ahead of me on the frontage road stopped short. I don't know why they stopped short. I thought it was because they were about to miss their turn or something like that. But then after applying their brakes and coming up short, they kept going. So I've got nothing for why, but I can't stop. So I did the only thing I could. I stomped on the brake, shifted into neutral, grabbed the parking brake, yanked it, and cranked the wheel. And I ended up facing the right direction in the opposite traffic lane. And went, well, that worked.
I actually have one that's very similar to that, but Toast was going first.
I was to say, very much like that with my first car, was leaving the house I was living in, and went to turn off of the road we're on, which is on the fairly steep hill. Except for it was snowy, and it was a terrible car.
Okay.
So coming out, and it just kept on going, so I'm now in the oncoming traffic.
Oh, boy.
So I'm facing down a hill in snowy conditions, and there is a car barreling up the hill because it's the only way to get up.
Yep.
I'm like, this is not the right way to go. It's like, how do I fix this? I'm like, I know, dumb, it's the only way I can think of it. Threw it to first, cranked the wheel, slammed on the gas. Figured this will get me into the other lane. And it did. Spun my car around, so now I'm facing up the hill in oncoming traffic, where there's still a car coming at me. Like, how do I fix this? I'm like, I know.
Can't win for losing there.
Since I know what I'll do, so I put it back into first, and I hit it again. Spun the car completely around, and I'm back in the other lane, facing downhill, because the other car has now gone past. And I'm like, well, I think I can fix this. Don't crank the wheel quite as much, don't hit it quite as hard, and manage to slowly limp over. And as I get about 3/4 of the way down the hill, because there's a lot of cross streets, I see a county sheriff, because that's where the sheriff's department is, watching me. I'm like, whatever. I just keep on driving.
So my similar story to this is actually very similar to his. I'm out on this country road, and again, all these happen in blizzardy areas,
Yeah.
blizzardy times.
It's Wisconsin.
Gotta love the tundra.
So I'm driving at a respectable speed due to the weather.
For once.
Shush.
You can only do that in snowy conditions.
So I'm driving behind a plow truck, and they dip off to get off little things here and there, so they don't always drive the straightest.
Right.
So so I'm behind the truck, and it dipped off a little bit further than I think he wanted to, and he hit something. He hit something that was so solid it spun his truck.
What could he possibly hit? That's that another car hidden in the snow?
It was a tree trunk that was cut. So you couldn't see the tree trunk through the snow.
Right. So he brought it.
It was solid.
Right. He hit the trunk with the blade.
With the blade. He hit that. It spun his truck, throwing a mountain of snow onto the road.
Ooh.
Not knowing what was in it, I tried to avoid it. So I try to avoid it as best as quick as I can, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
It caught my passenger side tire, and it spun me around. So I got spun around in my lane. So I'm completely reversed, still in my lane. I didn't know there was another car following me. Just so happened, again, to be the sheriff's county.
You mean county sheriff?
Yeah, county sheriff. Whatever. He comes up.
I can words.
He comes and he blows through the thing. Like, I guess he saw me not quite do an elegant job of trying to avoid it. So he blows through it at a respectable speed, while I am facing him in the lane still.
Yeah.
So we're probably about like a foot apart from each other.
Yeah.
I had slammed it into reverse.
Yeah, you're
and I floored it.
You're nose and nose.
So we're nose and nose. And he is just white knuckled with this expression of "Oh!" on his face.
What was that?
What wasn't it? So he's got that expression on his face and he's white knuckled and I'm just like so in reverse.
Not sure which way to look.
In reverse, I then just crank the wheel and spin into the other lane. So I am now facing the wrong way in the wrong lane with, as luck would have it, another car barreling at me. So again, just holding it in reverse, I speed back and I not as sharply, but reverse into my lane, finally facing the right direction and come to a stop right by where the giant mountain of snow was. Basically returning to start position.
You hit the reset.
Yeah. So I get back to that spot and I just have that moment of, oh, crap, is there anyone behind me? Fortunately, there wasn't. I just pulled straight up, right onto the freaking shoulder and went, I'm done. I'm taking like 10 minutes. No more driving.
Yeah.
A less hazardous story was I was driving back from middle of nowhere really late at night with a very, very tiny little roller skate of a car.
A Pacer?
Toyota. My Tercel.
Oh, okay.
Pacer would have been more fun. It had like no power. It was very, very light, and it had been snowing for quite a while.
Oh, I remember this story. Okay.
So I'm driving home, and after a while, I'm like, oh, I know this car has no power, but why does it feel like it's bogging down a lot? I mean, it is dragging us so hard to move. So I'm finally coming up to, getting close to the house. I'm like, it's like, I really want to find out what's wrong. And just as I'm thinking it, I glance at my at my driver's side mirror, and I noticed I'm seeing snow flying. I'm like, oh, I've been seeing it, but tires kick that up. Like, but it's not like throwing it. It looks more like it's cresting. So I roll on the window and I look, and yeah, the snow was actually higher than the bumper of my car, and I was actually creating a snow wake.
I've done that.
And I'm sitting there thinking, this little car, which I think had a 1-liter engine, was honestly creating a snow wake. I'm like, I am not stopping at the corner, because if I stop, I am not moving again.
Yeah.
I found found a place to park, and I just stopped. And I don't think it was the next day, but I think it was the same weekend. When I went out to go move my car, I couldn't find it. The snowplow had come through, and when I walked out, I'm like, yeah, I really need to start my car, which is, where did I park? Because the snowbank was just about the same height everywhere. There was a small lump in one spot, which is where I was parked.
Nice.
I had just enough space that, because I was up early to go to work, I had just enough space that I managed to get into our garage, grab a shovel, chip out enough to get the car open, start it, clear out the front vent so it can get air, and clear out the tailpipe so it didn't kill anything. And it took me roughly a half hour to dig my car out enough to be able to identify it as a car and possibly move it. So I get in. I mean, it's nice and toasty inside. Throw in the first gear, hit the gas, and the car leans forward but doesn't go anywhere. Ooh. I'm like, I'm thinking I'm spinning my tires. So yeah, I hit it a little harder. Nothing. So throw it reverse, try to rock it. Nothing. So I throw it first, went fine. It's like, this is really...
Alright, so on that wonderful note of fact, validation, and verification, any other shuns we should add to here? No? Alright. Skipping over his thoughts here. We're going to farm this out, and Mr.E, would you like to bid adieu?
Until next time.
There you go. A good web guru toast?
What?
Parting words?
If you're using a comb, make sure you go the right direction.
That would be a good parting word. Alright, and this is your captain, not of a Boeing, just of a dead paw. Thank you for joining the, what is this? Tales from the Time Traveler's Tavern? Apparently that's what we are. Thank you for joining. So that's it.
You've got to fix the boat, or get on and swim. You don't sit there bitching, sing